Diseases are a major setback to farming in general. They cause people to lose money on their investment. So in today's video, I want to talk about the major illnesses and how to mitigate them that affect broiler poultry farm. So before I dive down into the essence of this video, my name is Flame Bros. I'm a music producer and also a poultry farmer. So I'll name the 4 major diseases that are quite very common in broiler poultry farming that affects so many farmers and causes them to lose money, and some of them decide to just pack up because of we are not able to continue again. So the number 1 on my list is coccidosis, and the number 2 is CRD. The number 3 is typhoid. Then there's another one that is not too common, but it happens once in a while and will affect the way your birds grow. That is fowl pox. Fowl pox affects the eye. So starting from coccidosis. Coccidosis is a kind of diseases that affects your birds, causing them to stool brown, watery stool. Then in the case whereby it gets very severe, the birds will start stooling blood. So in order to mitigate this, you need to make sure that your litters are very clean. You need to clean them regularly. Even when you're treating the birds, you need to also make sure that you clean the place regularly. And you also make sure that your watering can or your water line, you get to clean them regularly using proper disinfectants that are good for your birds. If you're using the nipple drinker, there are some recommended disinfectant that you need to use to flush the lines. If you're using the normal conventional drinkers, you need to make sure that you clean them properly and wash them properly whenever you're using them. And make sure that the source of water you're giving to your birds are good drinking water that is even conducive for you to drink too as well. Because one of the mistakes that people do is that because they think that they are animals, they just give them anyhow water. That is a very wrong thing, and to cause your birds to fall down to diseases a lot. So make sure that your litters are always dry, clean, and also try to reduce overcrowding, because when the birds are crowded, they get to inhale more of ammonia gas that will make them to fall down on coccidosis. So whenever you notice any of these symptoms, treat your birds as soon as possible. Coccidosis is quite easy to identify. Once you notice the brown watery stool or the bird stooling blood, you need to administer them coccidosis treatment, coccidostat, to solve the problem quickly. So the next on my list is CRD. CRD is a kind of respiratory disease that affects a particular breed more of broilers, especially COP 500. So you need to make sure that your poultry pen is spacious enough so that the birds have enough aeration, even while brooding. For the fact that you're brooding doesn't mean that you make everywhere to be airtight. You need to make provision for air to flow inside of your pen so that the birds get to get fresh oxygen. So you need to make sure your pen is properly aerated so that your birds do not fall down to CRD too often. And also make sure that you give them the right medications on time so that it also helps to build their immune system too as well. If you're using sawdust, do not use sawdust in the first 2 weeks, because sawdust is the means whereby these birds get triggered by CRD. So you try to eliminate that too as well. And if you are buying a conventional commercial feed and you notice that maybe your birds are down of any kind of illness and you treat them, they seem not to get better, I would just recommend you just change the kind of feed you're giving to them. And if you're milling your own feed, you need to make sure that your source of your feed ingredients are very cool, and you use them at the right proportion. You use your feed meal and also your toxin binders at the right proportion, because in any case whereby you use excess of toxin binder or excess of the fish meal or even the groundnut cake, it has some effect on your birds, especially when your birds are falling down on typhoid. So coming down to typhoid is basically what they eat and what they drink. So that's why it's always essential for you to use good feeders. If you use good feeders, your birds do not get to stool inside of the feeders and still eat that same thing that's been contaminated with their feed. And if you're using commercial feed, you need to be sure of the brand of feed that you're using, because most times your birds fall down to typhoid because of what they eat. So you'll be very conscious of your source of feed and also your watering can, your water source, and also make sure that you treat them with the right vaccines and medications on time, because when you use the right antibiotics at the early stage, there's every tendency that also build the immune system against most of these things too. So in general, you need to make sure that your poultry pen and your farm environment is clean and hygienic. You maintain a strong biosecurity. Whenever you maintain a strong biosecurity, there's every tendency that the spread of diseases will be cut down to the barest minimum. And before you bring in new birds, you need to make sure you disinfect the space where they are early enough. because if you don't disinfect the place at least minimum of 2 weeks, if you don't get to disinfect them and space them enough, there's every tendency that there will be an outbreak of diseases that comes from the previous set into the new ones. And also most times, if you don't disinfect the place early enough, there's every tendency that the residual of those disinfectants in your pen will also affect the birds. So you need to give them enough space after disinfecting the place before you bring in the birds. And whenever you're using disinfectant on your litters, make sure that the litters dry properly before you introduce the birds into that space. So I hope that you like what you've seen so far, and you try to use the information I've passed on this platform, and definitely your farm will definitely grow and do well. So if you like what you've listened and watched so far, please smash the like button, and if you're new to this channel, I encourage you to just click on the subscription button so that when next I post a new video, you get to get a notification and see the videos and learn from them thereof. Thanks for watching this far, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye bye.